Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we're finally going to get our few days away. It's going to be in Boracay. Now, Boracay has been having some, Boracay is very, very popular, an expensive resort. We wouldn't have chosen that place to go to, or I wouldn't have anyway. Beth always says, oh, it's full of foreigners. Well, yeah, I just came from a place that's full of foreigners, okay, a few years ago, and I'm okay on that now. A done deal on that, and got the scars as well, t-shirt and all. So I'm really not enamoured with the fact that we're going to Boracay so much as that we're going to have a few days away together. We're going to take Talik with us because we'd like to. In this particular case, because it's to my youngest son's wedding. He has spent a great deal of time in the Philippines, mostly in Pampanga, because his mother is there in Pampanga. She's a businesswoman and used to have a manganasal in San Fernando, or Mexico, I think it was. So he spent a great deal of time between here and the UK. Speaks fluent Pampangan, Kapampangan, I think they refer to that as. But now he lives in the UK, and he's going to marry a Greek-British lady. I suppose if we adopt the American way of dealing with that. Not quite sure whether she was born in Britain or whether she was born in Greece, not quite sure. But anyway, I know that they spent some time in Greece as well, but we'll be going there. Now, it presents some dilemma for Beth, but not for me. This is one of those things where the difference in culture is evident a lot, and that is that Beth feels that it will be uncomfortable. Not quite sure whether it's uncomfortable for her or whether she feels it will be uncomfortable for my son, but she thinks that my son will want his mother and father together, and I don't have any experience of this, weddings and stuff, so I accept what she's saying when she says my gift to them will be my absence, which is a much more mature conclusion to have arrived at than perhaps this immature man would have done. But anyway, I thought that was a nice gesture. She talked it over with Nanai. Nanai said don't go. But they're coming, of course. Now, the wedding and reception, they'll stay at the hotel, which is another reason why we would bring Talikli, because put Beth into a swimming pool and she will stay there and work the entire day in the water, 8 hours. Me, I can't do that. My temperature goes down and I get cold, start feeling cold, and I'm off and out and getting dried and trying to find the sun again. So there's a lot to be said about Boracay at the moment. It's one of those places that I think it was a meteoric rise in fame, in popularity, and the hotels went in there, and this is what I think logically happened. I have no great first-hand knowledge of Boracay, but it has everything that most people like when they decide on a beach holiday. It has beautiful white beaches, and everything has sprung up to service foreigners with money on vacation, and they go there and they have a white beach vacation with fabulous weather, and they can do everything from, I don't know, hang gliding or hang surfing, whatever they call that, and they have everything there. You can rent boats and jet skis and all of that, I'm sure. So you want diving, all of that. This is not, by the way, this is not an ad for Boracay, because in doing all of that they have neglected to do a few other things like drainage and getting getting the septic tanks organised and getting soil removal, all of those other infrastructure things that should keep level, that it should be level with the amount of development that goes into making money. And of course, when there's not quite so much regulation as is the situation in the Philippines, I think that palms can be greased and things can get through with permits that perhaps should not have happened. Anyway, there's been some threats from the government. The government have threatened to go in and get that thing handled, and I think that what's happened is that the big business that is in there has felt that they were too big to fail. Well, if you come from America, you might be familiar with that expression, too big to fail. Nobody's too big to fail, and that situation there will not be allowed to continue. So I think that one establishment has already been closed down until they get their act together, and we're going away on the 6th, so we're only going for a few days, but we're just hoping that A, that our vacation will not be ruined, B, that my son's wedding will not be ruined, and that so far we haven't heard anything to confirm that the one that was closed down is the one that is going to be doing the wedding. So we're going to assume that everything's good on that. That was just a little update on our vacation away. We are very thankful to be having that time away. It's been, with all the trucks and the mess and the rain and getting bogged down in mud, and now trying to get our vehicles reliable, it's been quite a few weeks. Thanks for looking in and for supporting us. We're doing House 28, which we're looking forward to getting some support on. It's a very worthy cause, because that's a family of 9 and 6 of those are children, and children are what always draw me to a particular project. If there's a lot of kids there and they haven't got a place that is secure, dry, all of those things that we take for granted, you certainly would never dream of going to bed even with the front door slightly ajar. And this particular house doesn't have any doors, and it doesn't have any windows, and some of the walls are just made of plastic, and none of the walls are complete. So it really needs some help, and we're hoping to give it. Well, we're going to start the job, and we're going to be praying that everything will be good. Thanks for listening. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.